welcome back to another episode of the Dirty Verdict Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Peter Taaffe, joined as always by Bill Ogden and Kyle Herbert.
Well, you mixed it up that time. Normally I go second.
Thank you, Pete.
Kyle and Bill, of course, are trial lawyers here in Houston, Texas, and I am a full-time mediator. And here on the Dirty Verdict Podcast, we interview interesting guests, sometimes talk about the news. But this week we've got a very interesting return guest, Marty Lancton. Marty, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is like SNL where I get, after so many times, you give me a jacket.
No.
Yes.
That's a smoking robe.
Peter,
I'm not sure you're going to say something about peach sweaty balls or something like that.
we do not have extra jackets in the budget, especially not at his size.
True.
What are you up? 40 long?
46 long.
46 long? We can't afford a 46 long. You know how much fabric that is?
Athletic cut, too, though.
Yeah. Well, you're a slim cut for everybody here.
Okay, so I'm going to try to make this a little professional intro. I was thinking about,
Oh, Lord, let's do this.
Snap.
so in Harris County, Texas, I think some of us may have learned this along the podcast. The county, the administrative governing of the county is headed by the county judge, who is not required to be a judge, and Harris County doesn't really serve in a traditional judicial function. Although in other smaller counties, I know the county judge can do judge type things, traditional judge things. In Harris County, the county judge is the CEO, or kind of the executive.
Part of our Spanish heritage.
And
Really?
It is.
in the county, there are 4 precincts, each of which has a commissioner, and the commissioner's court is made up of 4 commissioners and the county judge, who is elected on a countywide basis. Each commissioner only runs in their respective precinct, and so
Were there at-large ones, though, too?
that's in those are more city type things where they do at large.
Gotcha.
It's just 5, and that makes a nice even. When you have odd numbers, then you have nice, elegant, vote, no tiebreakers, unless there's some kind of someone has to recuse himself. So, in our county, Lena Hidalgo was elected, I believe, 8 years ago.
2018.
2018. Okay, so 7 years ago. One of the youngest, if not the youngest, ever in Harris County. And then we've got 4 county commissioners who are Rodney Ellis still, and Commissioner Ellis is long serving. You got Leslie Briones, who's relatively new. And who are the other 2, Marty?
Adrian Garcia
No, you can't forget.
Former Sheriff Adrian Garcia.
and Tom Ramsey.
Tom Ramsey. Okay, so Tom has the western side of the county.
I mean, you have to look at the map. It's interesting the way that they actually redistricted the county commissioners, which actually took out a Republican seat. And so it was a little interesting to watch the other side.
What's the word for that?
Gerrymandering.
So
It's a hot word right now in Texas, so for a different reason, but yes.
They call it Marty Mandering.
currently in Harris County, Tom Ramsey is the only Republican.
He's the Republican on the commissioner's court.
Okay,
Right now.
but so I was looking up the budget. There's a multi-billion-dollar budget, of which I think about a little more than 50% was kind of in crime, law and order type. There's a term for it, I think, that Commissioner Briones used on the website I was reading. There's a deficit right now. So anytime there's going to be a deficit, there's a lot of hard feelings. There have been in the news some...
When you say deficit, explain to us what that means.
there's not as much money in the coffers as what's allocated to be spent.
So we're spending more than we have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
That's where you must.
so usually you would think in this day and age, there's 4 Democrats and 1 Republican. The 4 Democrats must be just teaming up on the Republican, and they're just steamrolling. Well, if anyone who follows the news, that doesn't seem to be the case. That's right now we've got some different things. So I think Marty, a lot of people last election, obviously it was very close. The Republican lost by 17,000 votes in a huge county, larger than most population-wise, and land size larger than other states. So Marty has declared as a Republican candidate for county judge in 26.
That is correct.
That's
November.
correct.
The primary is going to be in March.
Okay,
and
March
the general election will be in November
of 26.
26.
So that's coming up. And
Quicker than you can imagine.
yeah. And at this point, aside from you, how many declared, and not people who write in, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with write in.
What's the field?
There's always
There's a thing wrong with write-in.
There's always some nominal, people that just put their name on because they do it for advertising or just because they think it's funny. But how many would you say legit candidates are there?
Well, on the Republican side, that you won't know until the close of when kind of the sign-up period is, and that'll be in December. But what I will tell you is our campaign is really excited. We have worked with so many people over the years in my role as the president of the Firefighters. We're out in the community all the time. We're working with community leaders all around Harris County. We've been doing this. This is what firefighters do anyway. And so we're really excited about the enthusiasm and the support. We launched 2.5 weeks ago to a great launch party, and lots of success, lots of people that are helping and pushing this forward. And this train's left the station, and we're going to keep going.
Do you think the firefighters are going to back you?
I mean, that was the first one that I asked for the endorsement. Listen, we're very excited. We have public safety as a priority. Listen, I know this is a podcast going to make it a little bit more interesting than normal
Wow, make it
politics.
Make it dull. We have Bill on here every week just being dull. You might as well make it dull.
But I mean, you people are seeing in the news right now. You don't need to talk about the lack of leadership that's going on right now at the Commissioner's Court. What we're going to be focusing on is actually what taxpayers expect of their government. People need somebody that, when they are leading through a disaster, can actually trust what their county judge is saying, because it's coming from a place where you've earned the respect. And that's what a lot of politicians seem to miss. You have to earn the respect. You have to earn these things from not only the voters, but the people that you represent, that you lead. And so, being the president of the Firefighters, probably one of the most humbling experiences of my life, and very proud of all the work that the firefighters do. And they're out in the community every day. That's the kind of leadership we need at the county. Public safety is going to be absolutely the number one priority, not just what politicians say all the time. We've lived it. We've seen what the firefighters had to go through in order to get fairly compensated.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Like, what are you willing to do to be a leader, and what are you willing to do to stand up for the people that you represent and tell the truth? After public safety, you've got disaster mitigation, disaster response,
Emergency management.
And you've got infrastructure, roads, and you've got something that not a lot of people talk about that you're going to hear me talk about.
The monorail.
Jobs. And we've got a port expansion going on. We've got a lot of different things. And so the role of county government is not that of dealing with these polarizing social issues. What the responsibility of county government is to lead, to ensure public safety and all the things that I just mentioned. And if you can't do that, then what are we doing as a county? Taxpayers expect people to tell the truth, to be transparent, to cut out the corruption, cut out the waste and spending. And so we talk about deficits. What I can tell you, a decade of dealing with city budget, when people would always say we have a deficit in the city, I said, no, we don't. They're hiding money. Money's not being allocated where it's supposed to be. And the number one role for taxpayers, or the number one expectation is that their money is going to fund public safety, disaster response, mitigation, emergency management, infrastructure. In the county, you add one thing, and that's the health, the hospitals. But the reality is that until you're doing that stuff correctly, and until you're telling the public where their money is going, there's no trust.
How long did you think on it before you said county judge is where I want to go next?
Quite a while. I was approached by leaders within the local Harris County Republican Party, and I was asked to consider it, and I just said,
that's flattering.
Oh, well, hey, listen, why don't we find somebody else? Well, let's all, wrap our heads around, get around somebody, and they continue to come back and encourage. And I said, listen, let me think about it and pray for it. But one thing about me that people understand, we do grassroots all the time. Firefighters, we're out in the community. We're involved in politics. We're involved in elections because elections matter. And I believe, without question, local elections are more important to the people's everyday life than state and federal issues, which is why
1,000,000%.
all of the things that you hear them talk about, there's nobody more grassroots than me. And you've got to get these elections right. Everybody agrees, the vast majority of people look at the latest poll. Harris County is absolutely headed in the wrong direction. And you see it firsthand. We don't need to have people during emergencies that are fighting with city, regional, and state officials. It's embarrassing, but also it is about life safety. And so that's one of the things that we're really excited about. and really about resources. If you don't have the right resources and you're suing and you're always fighting with the largest city in the county and the state officials, that means you're not getting the resources to the residents of Harris County that need it. You talk about disaster response and mitigation. The Texas Government Land Office, the Land Commissioner, Dr. Dawn Buckingham, introduced me at my campaign kickoff, and she is endorsed. And why that matters, if you don't understand the role of the Land Commissioner in Texas, I encourage you to look it up. Probably one of the most impactful positions statewide to this region. And the reason is all the disaster money from the federal government goes through the GLO. And
Government Land Office. And so having a relationship both with the mayor of all the cities, especially the largest city in Houston, having a relationship with statewide elected officials means you pick up the phone and people answer, and you start to actually solve problems, and you don't talk about things that have nothing to do with county government.
What is the smallest, weirdest city inside Harris County that Bill or I could get elected to just to be a thorn in your side?
Listen, all the cities are amazing.
Is it Bel Air?
Well, I mean,
Southside.
Is it City of West?
I think Southside is people don't. Fun
Is
fact.
it Hunters Creek Village?
Yeah,
Like
Southside's got to be the smallest.
I think it's like
Felder, former mayor, now county attorney or city attorney.
um,
Friend of mine.
no, I mean I grew up in Westview, so
Yeah, me too.
my brother lives there now. Still, shout out Jonathan if you're watching. He's a lawyer, by the way. He's an oil and gas attorney.
what street's Jonathan on?
I'm not going to tell the public that.
What
street did you-
ATM pin number?
Yeah.
No, what street did you grow up on?
Oh, Quinby and Buffalo Speedway.
Interesting.
Yeah, right there, that corner house. Still standing today, but a lot of great people. But Southside is like 12 streets.
You know who?
I was gonna say 9.
What do you remember the Iran hostage deal in the 80s? One of the hostages.
Yeah.
No, one of the hostages grew up on Quinby near Wake Forest.
Really?
And when he came home, there was a big Westview parade, and
I mean, I was there. I don't.
yeah, I was
younger.
probably. So I was 81.
Wait,
So I was born.
So I was 10.
Munich?
No, we're talking about
The Iran Contra.
no, Tehran.
Scandal. Okay.
No, we're talking about Tehran, Iran.
Oh,
When Iranian hostage, the Iranian.
Oh, when they waited until Reagan came in and
Yeah, so-
Bill said that Jimmy Carter couldn't.
Yeah, so it would have been 81. I was 10.
That was -6.
Yeah, sorry.
I was 5.
But yeah, that's 2 blocks from where you grew up. Yeah. Side note.
So there's all kinds of weird little cities that me and Bill could be in charge of someday.
I listen as a good person that has studied great lawyers. I understand where this line of questioning is going. I applaud you, and also every city in the county is critical.
Equally amazing and important.
This guy.
All right, let me ask you another.
I was going to say,
We'll get
Kyle, if y'all didn't pick up off the bat where we said who else are some of the candidates in the race, and he didn't answer that at all.
He's good.
He pivoted right to his story.
I remember the last time I was here, somebody was. I think it was you.
It's always Bill.
It was like I think I said it. It was a deposition. It's like,
Yeah.
What about this? I'm like, I'm not really sure. Are you sure you're not sure?
So
Well, I don't know. Now I really don't know anymore.
So, but like, it's a serious question. This is a serious question. I would anticipate, and maybe this has already happened, that it'll be a unique situation where the sitting county judge, Lena Hidalgo, will certainly be primaried. Has anybody announced to run against her for the Democratic primary?
A lot of people.
Okay. Could you fill us in?
I don't really pay much attention. It doesn't matter to us who we're going to run against. We know that what we're doing right now is that we're running a campaign that's focused on the people and taxpayers, and it doesn't matter to us who it is on the other side. We are going to continue to work with all areas of Harris County, and we're going to get this done.
Fine, Marty. Does anybody else know who's running?
No, but I like that. I like that answer because the problem is, and I think this is not a controversial take, politics, the two-party system. I think most people are in this country are totally worn out with it. And so getting into the kind of trivial, who's running, who's a Democrat, who's a Republican, that's corny to me. It should be more who's the best candidate. And I think that's what most people
the Harris, you had said it perfectly, I think, at the beginning. The Harris County judge is I would akin it to mayor of City of Houston, right?
City manager.
Well, CEO of the county and, the commissioner's court versus city council. But more importantly, it's like what it signals to the people, and trust is a huge factor. During emergencies, emergency management is clearly one of the highest priorities that us living where we do. We see our fair share of them, and I've been out there in the communities during these devastating, hurricanes, freezes, you name it.
Yeah.
And you need to have people that when you listen to the elected officials, because I caution people, be careful about putting politicians up on pedestals, because, people assume because they're standing behind a microphone that maybe they're the smartest person in the room. And I tell people oftentimes they're the most dangerous, because they were elected with one more vote than the other person, and trust is earned, and it doesn't automatically make you, the smartest person in the room. You need to surround yourself with good people, listen to them, follow the facts. You guys are lawyers, you know that. Follow the facts and actually address and fix problems. And, if you can't do that, what are we doing?
Is there anything really political about the position other than you have to declare?
I mean, honestly, there shouldn't be, because if you're talking about public safety is not is not a DNR thing. Infrastructure, flood mitigation, emergency management, roads, and good jobs is not an issue for polarizing DNR issue. This is about the livelihoods. This is about the everyday impact we have within our communities. What do we want to leave for our kids? I want to leave a Harris County that's stronger. And right now we're headed in the absolute wrong direction.
Who's your favorite, historically speaking, county judge of Harris County?
Did you say Ed?
Man, look, there's a lot of them. But, my good, the county judges that I think we've had a lot of trust in during Commissioner Buckingham's, when she was elected, she put a transition team together that was just a wide array of individuals. And I was appointed along with Judge Robert Eccles. I've known Judge Ed Emmett for a very long time. He's a good friend, and I highly respect both of those. But also there's so many more. He's he's a public policy.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
The Baker Institute.
Me and him go to the Kem gas station a lot.
You said that on the show before, actually.
I see him pumping gas.
Still weird.
I'm
and
Kirby
creepy that you
all the
said.
time.
So he sees people working out. You see people at gas stations.
Yeah, well, it's where me and my daughter sell loose cigarettes.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah, Kyle just has to buy his kids Z's.
Just to make a little bit of money.
Don't forget Roy. I was going to say, I'm a Roy. I'll find. Yeah, he brought the Astrodome and probably Astro World, which
Not the concert. We got to be real clear on
true.
Peter.
The actual you.
Speaking of emergency management,
Yeah.
So here's a question, not necessarily a policy question. What do you think we should do with the Astrodome, Mr. County Judge?
The good news is that when we get in there,
put it on a ballot. That's what he's
so excited to address the issues of Harris County, and lots of opinions on that, and we will take a look and let you know.
Yeah. So
Can't we? I mean, can't we? All right, I have an idea.
Well, I'm only going to say one thing, and this is just because you have put me in a deposition where you.
I mean, this is a free flow.
I'm not listen. I mean, what I can say is I do know that when Judge Ed Emmett was in office, he had things worked out. My biggest thing is talk to the people that these issues affect, and we have people that operate in those venues, right? You have people that care about the institutions of our city and our county. But you've got, I've always looked at HLSR and Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. They've always, in my opinion, been kind of the honest brokers in the room. They've always, their mission is clear. Their mission is amazing. And they've been here for so long. And so it's critical that we bring stakeholders in, that we actually talk to people, but actually have real dialogues, listen to the people that it affects. I mean, I was at a town hall, speaking to a group, and they brought up something that, quite frankly, I didn't have a whole lot of knowledge in. And it's sometimes it's okay to say, hey, honestly, I've heard about this issue, but I couldn't give you a clear, articulate answer as to what the solution is, but I know the people to call.
God, that's so much better of an answer than word vomit. That doesn't mean.
Can I make a suggestion?
Politicians don't do that anymore.
Well, because people are afraid to admit that they're wrong. Everything is absolute these days, and it's not. That's not life. Life is not in absolutes. So if you put yourself into a corner and everything you do is 100% right, you don't leave yourself room at all. And in firefighting, what I always tell people, I said, it's the 80% rule. And they said, 80%? You always go 100%. I said, no. When you go into an atmosphere like a fire that you can't see anything, it's hot, you're disoriented, you go 80%. And they said, no, Why? I said, because you leave yourself 20% to get out in case something goes wrong.
Yeah.
If you give 100%, you have nothing left in the tank to get out. You're not giving yourself means to save yourself and get out. And so the same applies. It's okay to be heading in the right direction. And if you need to move a little bit one way or the other to make an adjustment, it's called an adjustment. And listen to the people around you, but then measure, right? Measure whether or not something is successful. And hey, amazingly enough, admit, if this didn't go the way that somebody thought it was going to go, it's okay. But we've got to get back to a society now.
Yeah, but let's
where-
figure out a solution.
Let's sort solution.
I'm just saying, I have an 80% solution at least for the Astrodome. We sell it to Tillman Fertitta, and we make it the world's largest rainforest cafe.
Okay.
We can put lizards,
I think that
dinosaurs,
I think
a little boat.
now we have to call him. What is the correct
Ambassador.
Ambassador?
Ambassador Fertitta.
Ambassador Fertitta. He is open alien.
Yeah.
I want to be the ambassador of Rainforest Cafe to Houston.
You can be, except for the one in Italy, because that's taken.
Yeah,
Fine.
it is.
Well, back to substance.
I mean, I'm sure you're gonna. Is Venezuela open?
I'm just saying, I want credit for that idea. Wide open. When we build a swamp in the bottom of the Astrodome and have tours and we can get nachos for our kids, I want a little bit of credit for that.
I just want.
asbestos exposure.
Second option. Sorry.
No.
Second option. You know how they have these football games where they're like, we're going to play Tennessee and Virginia Tech at Darlington Speedway, right? Or we're going to have Army play Navy on the deck of an aircraft carrier, all right? We're going to play Texas A&M inside the Astrodome. No asbestos remediation.
Winner take all.
On top of concrete, just like roll out a green carpet. And that's where that game was born to be played.
I'm against that. But
Well, I feel like that's a absolute.
horrible idea.
Well,
Horrible
I was
idea.
going to say for, I guess, a personal injury attorney, I guess that's, you would really want that, right? You just get everybody in there.
Scum.
They get hurt, and then they never lawyer like, oh, by the way.
No. Everybody's signing a recreational use waiver that says, I'm fine with getting tackled
I
on
thought
concrete.
that those waivers didn't really hold much water.
I bust them up all the time.
Well, in this country,
Hey, I had a question for you guys, actually.
Right on.
Wait, so I was told that if you sign like these waivers all the time and then you just add 2 words at the bottom,
like LOL or supposedly.
or like not, or something, that changed it. I could be wrong, but y'all are experts.
I haven't taken a contracts class in a while, but a handwriting addition to the 4 corners of a printed out contract for the signature. I can't remember what the rule is, but I like where your head's at. As a county judge, I like that we're getting creative. Get around rules. That's what we're doing.
I don't want to break. I want to be within the rules, but I just want to be able to apply the rules fairly.
Exactly.
That's it.
Well, the problem these days is that most of those stupid waivers are like on an iPad.
Correct.
And so like you have to really get into the signature block to be like, this disagree, ! Kyle. Because there's really no way for you to like interlineate anymore. They fixed that problem.
Yeah.
They fixed the glitch.
But what if you don't actually sign your name? What if you just sign somebody else's name? Like Susie.
Daffy Duck.
Herbie Hancock.
Yeah.
Those are all what we call fact questions.
Probably.
It's
not.
called in my opinion, that's called a good fact in a lawsuit.
It's good. Okay.
I mean, the real fact, to be honest,
Okay.
is most of these waivers are for kid events. And
Right.
And the question comes down to is, can a parent waive their child's injury? That's where the fight is.
Get Kyle getting all legal.
How do you put politics aside and work with the other side of the aisle as county judge?
It's very simple. I've been doing it for a decade, and you just work with the people in the community. One of the best lines that I have heard truly was the land commissioner when she came into office. One of the things we said as a transition team is, we represent everybody. We have to treat people in the situations we're in charge of with care, with respect. And what she has said that I think kind of encompasses everything is we serve the people we're supposed to serve, and we do it well.
Follow-up question, and we can cut this if we need to, but what's your position on the current federal administration's standpoint on kind of dissolving, defunding, or funding a lot less on the FEMA side of things?
If you have administrations that work with everybody, you can get things done. If you're fighting against everybody, then nobody is having discussions in the room. It's exactly why you have a mediator, right? You bring somebody, an honest broker, into a room. that's trying to honestly get to the root of the problem and then solve it. But you have to have a clear head. You have to have somebody that's willing to understand where everybody is at and how do we find solutions to problems. Because if you don't find a solution to the problem, all we're doing is just yelling into the wind. And everybody is...
And getting reelected.
Everybody is just yelling, to hear themselves talk. But
is the county judge in charge of the courthouses?
In what sense? I mean, they have the budgets.
The budget funds.
I mean,
the
not from a jurisdictional, like, are they above the district court judges or the appellate court judges?
No, they fund them.
Correct. It's the budget.
Yeah, well, to an extent,
Yes.
they fund themselves as well with
When I was
Again.
when I was an intern for one of the probate judges, he wouldn't care that I used to use his name. His name was Russell Austin, and he started smoking, I think, during Vietnam, and was like a 3-pack-a-day smoker. And when they moved his court from the old family courthouse into the new civil courthouse, which now would be 20 years ago, he kept smoking like 3 packs a day. And Judge Ed Emmett, like once a week, would send some poor lackey over there and just be like, "Hey, Judge Austin, I just want to make sure you knew that Judge Emmett, this is a no smoking facility." And Judge Austin would just like chain smoke and be like, "Oh, of course. No, I tell everybody you can't smoke in the civil courts building." Is there a chance we could get that rule reversed? We could make smoking okay?
I'll tell you what, I will let you bring that question to the voters. I will let you ask the people if they would like that to happen.
Referendum.
Yeah, by all means. I mean, Hey, and by the way, I know somebody who has passed a couple referendums.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You're my guy.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
This is the face of smoking indoors, people.
No, referendums. I'll show you how you can get your voice heard. I don't have to agree with you.
Radical democracy, fully funded by Philip Morris and the tobacco lobby, smoking again inside the.
We're definitely going to be cutting.
Yeah. So
all of
What are
this.
your...
yeah. So
You said a couple of like broad stroke points, but are there any specific criticisms you have kind of currently where we're at and what's causing us to go in this wrong direction that you mentioned?
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you look at what I had to deal with at the city of Houston with the last administration and honestly, the administration before that,
They just pay?
you would just get that in the budget. And, one of the things that I, it's about a 700-page budget that I would go through every single year. And what the public saw and those numbers on there weren't what that it represented. And so I spent years getting down into the weeds about how the game is played. And I am not the person that can be leveraged. And I got attacked. They spent a lot of money to try to get rid of me because the closer you get to finding where the bodies are buried, the more worried they get. But at the end of the day, I tell people, if you're telling the truth, it no longer matters. So the answer to the question is that you have to look at how the game is played and know when you walk into the room, it's little stuff here and there that all adds up.
Are you
got to be done with it.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
No.
Are you saying the budget historically has been written so opaquely
100%.
that somebody that wants to figure out what's going on, it's
100%. I had a community leader. I think it'd be okay with me saying it. He and I probably were the only ones that would go to these committee hearings about budgets and different things. And he still does it. Great guy, great community leader, Doug Smith. And we didn't start out being really good friends. We would just see each other, and then he would come up with questions. And I said, that's not, I know that that's what it's written, but that's not what's happening. And, for a rational person, for somebody that thinks that government is run the right way, they first say it can't possibly be that way. But honestly, that's where bad people who want bad things to continue to happen hope that good people don't understand it.
It all comes down to money, though, right?
100%. But it comes down to what the priorities of these people say and lack of transparency. So over the course of time, we would go through these things, and I would tell him, and I said, give me a few hours and I'll go through with you and show you. And over time, he started to understand. And it's not, don't take my word for it. Look at, it's there. You just got to know where to find
Why is it not more public knowledge? Because you think I'm not going through 700 pages of
Correct.
budget
Bingo.
for this county, then I got to go through the city.
Well, because Houston is so large. Harris County, Houston, this region is so large. The news cycle is so fast. By the time you ask one question about something that you don't think makes sense, they've lied 10 more times. And then if there's one lie that somebody's getting close to kind of exposing, they'll intentionally then lie about something else they can control the next day, but it's a bigger issue.
So that you can't.
So you don't.
Nobody wants to be quiet. That's
Yeah,
good news.
it's people would always come to me. They go, "How do you get through to this?" I said, "The only way you take down a corrupt administration is to tell the truth." I mean, and somebody that cannot be leveraged.
How long's it been corrupt?
I think it starts with just a little bit here, a little bit. It's not. I don't think it's some active world where somebody says, "Ha ha ha ha." I'm gonna. It's they start cutting corners, and then the next administration has a choice: do I want to fix these issues, or do I want to, do what I want to do? But when we forget about what the core tenets of county government or government is, by the time it's all said and done, we get down the road and, 15, 20 minor things start turning into really big things. I mean, there's no secret. If you look at, in the case of the city of Houston, how long did we go without infrastructure and our drainage and our sewer system we knew it was bad. They did the same thing as they did to the firefighters. They just kept pushing it down the road saying, we'll let the next administration deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. It took a federal consent decree and a lawsuit in order to make the city fix the infrastructure under the last administration. And the same thing with the firefighters. So that's not the way we should be dealing with government. They know the games. You have sovereign immunity and government actions. And so they just hope that they can outspend you.
Who audits the county budget?
Good question. Outside, they have people that they are hired to kind of look at the books, but those are, it's a broader question, and I'd like to drill down into it, but it depends on what they're auditing. I mean, you've got different people, different entities, for instance, Hectra. Right. There was a bill this last session to make Hectra transparent about where the money is being spent. You would think Hectra, the Harris County Toll Road Authority.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
You would think with $300 to $400 million in excess surplus a year,
They'd make it free.
they would do something. Well,
They ran on it that once it paid for itself, it'd be free.
or they would actually tell you
capitalism.
where they're actually spending it. So there was a bill,
They're giving it to the constable.
and we went through and said, hey, listen, there were different components to it. People really fought hard against the transparency of it.
It's
and
a slush fund, right?
the deal.
At the end of the day, they can use it as one because nobody knows what they're doing with it.
But so to your point, when you talk about the audits, it's these different entities. There's not full transparency in the auditing. People can say, oh, listen, we've done this. We've got audited for this one particular section here, but not the broader. If the general public doesn't understand where the money is going, that's a problem. Period. End of story. Yes. If I can't ask where this dollar is going and clearly understand, yes, there's a lot of different layers to these things, but generally speaking, this shouldn't be some secret. And when nobody can answer the question, because Harris County Toll Road Authority, for instance, is its own entity. So you want to know who the board members are for the Harris County Toll Road Authority?
The Ford of General Motors.
The Harris County Commissioners.
Really?
So they gavel out of their Harris County Commissioners Court meeting, and then they gavel in the Harris County Toll Road Authority.
I did not know that.
So, but who by law? I mean, is there a public auditor, a position like similar to other?
I mean, you've got roles that they got a budget office, the Harris County Treasurer. I've got much like the city of Houston. They have what's called a city controller, but the city controller doesn't have access to all of the city's finances. They actually have
controller doesn't.
No.
Would you?
They actually have to ask because the way that it's set up is that the controller only takes in, for instance, we go to the civics lessons. They'll take in the sales tax receipts, and they'll take in the property taxes. They'll take in what's coming in, and their job as a city controller, in essence, is that if you write a check from the city to a vendor, it goes to them. They say, A, do they have a valid contract with the city? Yes. And B, is there money in this budget that's allocated for this contract? That's it. So what had happened to the previous administrations in the city was you can't get access to the city of Houston finance department. The finance department is appointed by the mayor. So they answer to the mayor. The city attorney's office answers to the mayor. All of these things where outwardly we think, oh, they have full access. No, they have to go and request permission. And that's what we had to deal with as the firefighters the last 8 years. You would have to go and ask the mayor for permission to go and get access to financial documents in the finance department, to which they would say no.
Well, I think the
Is there
chance.
any recourse to that?
Yeah, you can sue them and spend 8 years in court.
So it sounds like Herbert Ogden Asphalt Inc. needs to start submitting bills to the Toll Road Authority.
Because we got a guy on the side that'll validate our contract.
Is there not a function for a private auditor?
There is, and that's what we will do when the time is appropriate. Meaning, if the citizens of Houston and the Harris County residents in all the cities need to understand that we have to have somebody at the top that is unafraid to go and ask the tough questions and then tell the truth. And so when I'm elected, that'll be the first thing that I do, is to get a real audit, not one that,
Comprehensive.
exactly. Because in order to fix a problem, you have to know where you're at. You have to know what it is you're dealing with, how you can build upon it, and what the next steps are. And until you know the full picture, you can't fix something.
When was the last time there was a full comprehensive audit of Harris County?
That's a good question.
It is. That's sad that it's a good question.
I mean, because you have financial, kind of financial audits that,
Due diligence.
yeah, they're all done differently. So they're painted in these pictures that there's all these, everything's, beautiful and glowing. But like I said, much like the controller, they're basically checking off these particular aspects that they're responsible for, but don't have full access to everything without having another layer, either give it to them or sign off on it. So I'm trying not to get too far into the weeds here. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't be that difficult. You pay taxes, the taxes go in, the taxes go here. You have to have strategic planning. You have to have good people that are looking at the issues. And there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of things that we have to address. But in order to do it, you got to start with the truth. And if you start with a good foundation, you're going to build a good house.
Where do you stand? So I know one function of the commissioner's court is that they have to approve settlements from litigation against the county. Some of the administrations have gone, to the, hey, that's what was agreed to, so we voted in. Or, there are other administrations, and I'm not going to point who's who, have said that's a lot of money, regardless of what happened. Let them go to trial, regardless of what the number is. Then that verdict can force us to pay it rather than us voluntarily vote to approve it. Where do you stand on that?
Well, everything you just said is exactly what the firefighters had to deal with for years.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That was not the hypothetical I was thinking of. But
well, and you just said something that a lot of people don't know about, but the lawyers listening probably will, is that most people say, listen, well, that's fine. When you get a judgment against a city or a county, they say, well, if it's above $50,000 or more, you have to get it approved as a procedural matter. And then they'll say, all right, in the order, you got to pay it within 30 days. And what they'll do is they'll just let it lapse, and then you go back to court, and the judge has to issue the order to do it. And they say, didn't have a choice.
right.
The judge did. I mean, that's what Sylvester Turner did for 8 years. He knew he was on the wrong side of it. He knew he was putting the taxpayers in a position.
His interest runs the whole time.
Interest runs the whole time. You're not going to pay your credit card. You're just going to keep delaying and deferring. And so at the end of the day, you have to have honest discussions. And that starts with the whole thing of what I mentioned earlier. You can't be in this world where everything is absolute. There are cases that you have, the county hires law firms to handle litigation and different things. If you don't have trust in the attorneys and they're not being truthful and representing the county the way they shouldn't be there. But if they are, we need to start looking at things from a perspective of how do we get off of the front page instead of continuing to put more things on the front page. And one of the things that the largest city in the county, what Mayor Whitmire had said, first came into office, the very first meeting was with me, and it was to drop the nonsense. Could they have continued what the previous administration? Sure, they could have. Would they have won? No. Would it have been worse for the city? Absolutely. Would it have been worse for firefighters and their families? So there's no end game. Why are we doing this? And a lot of times it comes down to people think that the budget of the city and the county somehow is their own. It's not their budget, so they just spend it, and they say, just keep going down to court. you're going to have to address the issues. So sit in a room. And one of the things that we talked about when we left the meeting the first day with the mayor was, so you get into a room, we're going to get this done by the end of February, and don't come out until we do. And I said it here on the show last time. Thank God it was leap year. We got it done on February 29th at the end of February. But the point is that you have to be motivated to solve a problem. You can't just keep kicking it down the road and saying, well, I didn't do it, but I'm going to keep spending money over here and I'm going to ignore this over here. You know, you can't do everything, but at the end of the day, doing nothing isn't an option.
Yep. Bill, I would answer that question. I'm going to put faith in the lawyers that we hire, including the county attorney. And if they make a recommendation and I agree with it, I'll approve it. But if I think there's some red flags there, I'll ask the questions and maybe not approve it.
But here's the thing. That's my biggest problem, Peter, is that you don't have to go hire lawyers. You don't got to go spend more city money. You have the county attorney's office.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
But oftentimes, for personal experience, they go and hire outside counsel.
Well, usually they
even more money.
Yeah, I would if that would be my recommendation is to beef up the county attorney's office with talent and use them.
They are, I would say, county attorney's office currently. My hat's off to Christian Menifee. I think he's doing a great job from what he's done, and I think he's transitioned them into a litigation kind of arm of the county from what it used to be, which was just a, kind of general counsel position. So they are going in the right direction. I want to see it more.
Well, listen, we all know that all of the government entities have, lawyers on staff and then retain outside law firms. I mean, you can write the script. It's okay. Now that it's here, district court, now that it's gone, it's like, okay, inside counsel, go sit down. Outside counsel, come over here. You know the drill. Go ahead and file this. We know it's not going to be any good, but it's going to delay it at least 6 to 8 more months. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to ask for a rehearing. Okay, let's go ahead and delay another eight months to another year. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and ask the Supreme Court to do it. And by the way, we have not yet solved the problem because we have told ourselves that until I am told that it's no longer an option to delay, that I'm not going to sit down and actually try to resolve this.
Yeah.
I don't like you making me like you this much. Just said we know right now.
Well, I mean, this is a theme that you had in your last interview, which was you had big issues with the late Mayor Turner for obviously, and I can tell it kind of, there's some residual feelings about that. But John Whitmire came in, who is, although Democrat when he was a senator, nonpartisan role at the city of Houston, he's still a Democrat. But has worked with people his whole life on both sides of the aisle, multiple, or not both sides, his side and the other side. And I felt like when you came, that was a refreshing change of pace. Maybe it's because he was new and all the stuff behind, there's not the emotions. But so similarly, that's what I think, and I'm not taking a side, but that's what I think a lot of the criticisms have been of the current county judge is there's been a lot of politics and a lot of hard feeling, just a lot of hard feelings instead of bridge building. And
keeps it personal.
Yeah, but also you all know at the end of the day, you can advocate. Listen, I unapologetically advocate for the people that I represent and firefighters and their families. I won't stop. I'll climb whatever mountain it takes. And the same thing when you're representing your clients, you're zealously representing them, right? But at the end of the day, you also have to look out for their best interests and say, okay, all right. The best attorneys that I have had that, one, my mentor, who I look up to, I've studied.
Stop it.
Troy Blakeney, is you eventually have to answer the questions and say, listen, here's what you can do. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what is a resolution. But at the end of the day, this needs to get fixed. You got to resolve it. And what's going to be the best path? And sometimes it's not what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear.
Yeah, no, for sure. Are there any things in the current administration, as with Lena's administration, that you think they do well?
Listen, I as I said at the very beginning, I'm not going to talk about the issues that the current administration is dealing with. What we're focused on is our campaign and focused on moving forward. I do think that there is a huge problem with the ability to get a resolution on things. And if you are constantly virtue signaling and talking about things that have nothing to do with county government, then that is not okay. And we're seeing it right now. And so I think people have had enough. And I think that it's time for us to be focused and head in the right direction.
And so counter to that, and it's in a gotcha. It's a legitimately earnest question. If you're our elected county judge, would you vow to do the same as far as the Republican, whatever the, kind of what you would say the non-relevant components of politics as far as county?
Yeah, that's a fair question because it's exactly what I tell people every time I go speak with them. If it is not about public safety, if it's not about disaster response, mitigation, flood, infrastructure, roads, jobs in the hospitals, that is not what I'll be talking about. We cannot have a functioning county government if we keep talking about things that have nothing to do with county government.
I hate Taylor Swift.
He does. He tells me it all the time.
Rosie O'Donnell, Taylor Swift, and Bud Light.
Oh, man.
What about Travis Kelce?
I don't know.
50.
I think Kyle is trying to get us on social media. It's viral. Yeah, he just Taylor with all the Swifties. We like Taylor Swift.
Taylor, if you are listening, he would like to go to your wedding.
Yeah.
And I will go with him.
I would love to.
It's fine.
We'd all appreciate an invite.
Yeah. I really want to meet Jason Kelsey.
Yeah. Maybe one of the last questions is in Houston, city of Houston, the mayor has a lot of power because doesn't he set the agenda or decide what goes on the agenda? Is that the same with the county?
No, it's a little bit different, but I think it still sets the tone at the top. It's still the highest elected county, the person in charge during emergency disasters and other things, and that still runs the county. But it is critical to be out in the community, showing what it is that we're doing, how we're doing it, how we're going to move forward, and leadership is important. Trust is important. Like I said at the very beginning, you have to earn the trust of people, and you have to be out in the communities, and you have to be honest with people. And so it's fundamentally different in some areas. It's a very powerful position that should represent the interest of Harris County residents and taxpayers. That doesn't have to do with your own, personal issues or things that you have and that you want to talk about. It is about the people.
Where'd you go to college?
Didn't go to college.
Yeah, that's right. I went to.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I went to Blinn, and then went over to the
I saw the
Texas A&M A&M Fire Academy over Brayton Firefield. So
yeah, my brother's a graduate.
I did have a scholarship to St. Louis University, and my father ended up unfortunately had a heart attack and a stroke 2 weeks before I graduated from Jesuit. So I had to turn that down, and so I'm happy to be where I'm at. And
so that's a graduate. You went through
this
school?
No. This is international firefighter training.
Oh,
so when you talk about emergency response, which departments of the county? I know every time there's one, there's always the mayor and the county judge are together, and usually sheriff's department, HPD, firefighters. So who are the ones that the county bring to the table in those situations?
That's a great question. A little bit nuanced. So you have, of course, the Harris County Sheriff, the constables. You have interagency responses with the police and the other agencies, the other cities, municipalities. You've got the Harris County Fire Marshal's office that's within the county itself. But you also have all the jurisdictional departments within the county that have to be coordinated for emergency response. So you have to be in a central location, you have to understand how each one operates separately, but also together. And we use the National Incident Management System model, which fire departments use every day. We scale up an incident, scale down an incident. We get the resources necessary. The incident command system is what we call it. And so you have to apply the same thing when it comes to the disasters. But everything happens from the Emergency Operations Center.
Who's the head of that? What time? Not the person, but the title. Okay, so
for incident command of an
individual. You have people. You have emergency managers. In fact, the fire chief of City of Houston right now used to be the emergency management coordinator. You have directors, managers. Different titles.
What's her name? Lori.
Lori Christensen is the fire marshal. And so you have each designation. It's a little bit different for each jurisdictional authority. But at the end of the day, in the incident command system, you have to have one chief and you have to have one person that ultimately is in charge, and good people working
So
underneath you.
Where's the county judge's office?
That's a good
Downtown.
question.
Yeah.
Where downtown?
I think it's right across from 2 blocks from the courthouses.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'd be able to.
county administration
building.
building. Yeah.
So if there's a giant disaster, is that where you have to spend the night?
No.
I have a personal request, which is the next time a refinery goes up, for a refinery to have a bad accident, so many rules have to get broken. Don't let them off the hook. Like, please.
Well, listen, life
As
safety.
as a born and raised Deer Park kid, don't.
Well, life safety is number one, and the good news is that call a ball and a strike, and that's what it's about, and that includes myself. And that in order to hold other people accountable, I'm okay with being wrong. I'm okay with being held accountable to the things that we do, because it's about trying to make things better. But I don't think bad actors should ever be doing bad things to good people.
Because when an incident happens, we only hear that public information officer from the we hear a little bit from.
I mean,
from
isn't that
government.
why they hire really good PR media? Well, first crisis management experts, right?
I say that our sister was the PIO for a refinery that went up and had to go through it in 2019. But yeah, they do. They spend a lot of money and training on it too. But from the government perspective,
Well,
I don't need a parrot.
let me ask this, and this was kind of what I was going into. Your particular background with the firefighters, not just as in a not necessarily political role, advocacy role, but as an actual firefighter who does that and coordinates as head of the union. How do you think that background particularly suits you for the job of county judge?
Because being on the streets and actually knowing what it means to rescue the people during the worst day of their lives, understanding how things actually operate versus what we think the politicians think things operate. You have to have somebody with institutional knowledge of just the everyday things, talk to the people that are out there doing the work and see what actually is working. Because the very first rescue I made during Harvey was our own firefighters, because the city at the time in the last administration didn't provide the resources necessary, but they were telling the public they were doing, if you listen to the TV at the time, the last administration was telling the public how an amazing job they were doing. And I was going on national TV the next day and I was telling the truth. And then I had people from administration, and, they were calling and threatening me. I said, "You're not calling and threatening me." I said, there are people out there that need help. I don't, your fragile ego does not matter to me. Telling the truth is what matters, and helping the people. When, the governor appointed me to the task force after the concert tragedy, where
Kids World.
Yeah. It's something that the governor's office and I'm kind of tongue in cheek, but it was said, he understands what he's getting with me. And they said, absolutely. That's why he's asked you. And I went on and I said, I'm not here. Victims' families are owed the truth, and they're owed an explanation as to the questions that they have. Nothing is going to bring back their loved ones, but no child should die at a concert, period.
Yeah, the key thing on that is, to me, is coordination, because there's so many governmental, entities under the public safety umbrella. I think it's so important to have someone with experience understanding each one's role and also how to coordinate all that. Because when a time of crisis, some people, aren't, rightly so, are panicked, and they need someone who's knows how to do it.
Cool. You have to be calm in the face of emergency. One of the things they teach you in the academy, but they instill in you throughout your career, is that if you're running because you are panicking, number one, you're going to make a mistake, and number two, you're probably going to kill somebody. You have to remain calm. Just because everybody else is running, you have to be the person that's got a clear head, that understands that you're in an environment that is inherently dangerous, and you have to be able to coordinate the people, the resources, and to get the job done. Because the greatest thing about firefighters, I believe, is that we don't go home until the job is done.
Slow is smooth, smooth is efficient.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie about firefighters?
Backdraft.
Backdraft.
Down.
You asked that last time. Favorite movie generally, Man on Fire, Shawshank Redemption, one of the old classics. What else do we have?
Our previous guest brought a little gift from Czechoslovakia in a maybe that may be affecting some memory.
Czechoslovakia went down with the wall.
Oh, sorry, Slovakia.
What other? Towering Inferno.
Sure.
No.
That was like when I was like 5.
Yeah. Oh yeah, can't watch that.
Do the firefighters know that should you take this county judge position, the better you do your job, the less work they'll have?
Yeah, we hope to put ourselves out of business, but that won't.
We'll always need them. They'll just get to play a lot more on that basketball goal. I see.
Well, yeah, that's like saying a lawyer that takes 40% of their client's money because they didn't do anything and they didn't get injured. Just kidding. That was.
Hey, I'll take 35.
I tell athletics of lawyers all the time, if the general population didn't consistently behave like fourth graders,
True.
I will be out of business in about 2.
I just say, laugh now. You'll call when you need it.
You know, the reality is that over the course of 50, 60 years, I think I mentioned this last time, the fire service has changed dramatically. It's not just fires, it's EMS, it's hazmat, rescue.
EMS, yeah.
No, it's like going to car use. It's a percentage versus call. So fires are up in Houston, not down. The amount of resources that you need to respond to a fire are exponentially greater than what you need for a one-dimensional, if you will, EMS call that requires 2 paramedics on a unit versus a fire in a high rise or fire or a fat car wreck. Because we're not turkey zone and we're 650 square miles.
Because what'd you say? Sorry, Marty.
We're 650 square miles. We're heavily densely populated. We're not zoned, and
more buildings equal more fires. More
that makes sense.
More buildings.
I never thought about
aging. Yeah, more fires.
Yeah, aging.
And honestly, the way the construction is done, the tensile strength of the way they make things now on lightweight construction is just as strong as the old timber type construction. The problem is that it's great until fire hits it. And then when fire hits it, it fails at an exponentially higher rate than what the legacy homes. So if you look at a home where I used to own a home in Meyerland, it was the old wood heavy timber. If that catches fire, it's going to take long hours for it to be, to fully kind of catch on, maybe less than that. But now if you have the truss type light construction, it automatic, you're talking about minutes.
Yeah.
That's going up.
And electrical stuff is just getting older.
Yeah, and more complicated.
Yeah.
A lot more electricity in all homes.
All right, guys. Any other county judge related questions?
God, I had so many things I wanted to just embarrass him about coming in this campaign. I didn't get any of them out.
Kyle,
sure we'll have a chance.
2 things. Kyle is still waiting on the to go down the fireman's pole.
I'm still waiting for the check for the gala.
And we're still waiting on on Bill's check, I believe.
It's October 11th, so it's kind of coming up.
For the children.
Is it too late to get one?
And it's never too late for you.
Yeah.
We have
Amanda?
We'll make a 11th.
The Fireman's Gala?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Texas. So you.
Oh,
we'll have the game on.
Good. Well, yeah.
Well, Peter's son's kind of the captain of the team.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, for this
Was he captain?
I'll have to miss. Every week is different. So he was for Ohio State. He wasn't
American last year at UT.
So yeah,
Sort
I'll
of
have to be at that one. But
Congratulations.
But Bill,
That's
thank
great.
you. Appreciate it. Yeah, Bill,
If we get this Astrodome deal done, you could play A&M there this year covered in asbestos.
I think we just have a trial lawyers convention right outside, and everybody wins.
Only if it's in August.
Sure, it's called the Roadie.
Only if it's in August.
All right. Well, Marty, thanks so much for joining us. And like I said, I try to steer things from political because I just think there's too much of that in this
He's
world.
running a job
He has-
doesn't need. No,
Yeah.
I'm saying he's in politics, but it's a job that doesn't really care which side of the aisle you're on.
It's like Marty said, no child should die at a concert unless it's a Taylor Swift concert, like I say. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I try to go substantive, but of course, the nature of things there are political parties in this one, and so of course, if Judge Hidalgo ever wanted to come on, we'd love to.
Yeah, she can come on too.
Come on, we're not. We obviously.
And East Parker, who was a candidate, I looked it up.
Oh yeah, and East Park is running too.
Okay.
Mayor, right?
Yeah. Is that the only one?
Wait, is she full on registered?
Per Google of 5 minutes ago, she is.
She's declared or registered. Do you have to get signatures?
I don't know.
No, you have to sign. You have to fill out, file your ethics report, treasure filings, and then
But it's not like a judge where they got to get like 5,000 signatures to.
I mean, I'm excited about your race.
Thank you.
I'm like, not only because I know you and think you do a great job, but like
Matters.
it's very important. It's one of the offices that I think most Houstonians would agree. Like there should not be a party attached to it. But it's also, if you just like kind of dumb political theater, which I kind of do, like this will be the most hotly contested
It'll be fun.
county judge race
In the country.
ever.
In the country.
Right? Like if you would have, like, for a long time it was like, oh, Ed Emmett. He did a great job, and then really kind of rubber stamping along the way. This is like, there's some.
All right. Well, Marty, yeah, thanks for joining us as always. Just like your last one, this was great and
I
very
learned so much about
very
county
informative.
and city government.
Yeah,
Hey,
we
Thank
need.
y'all for having me.
Yeah, one thing I would ask is I think we need more civil courts, and there was a bill that was passed, and the governor vetoed it. Supposed to be in the special session, didn't make it. Obviously, that's a legislative decision, but the county funds it. And I think the county can be very influential in getting that. So I hope that's able to happen. So
If somebody wanted to get more information on your campaign or donate, what you have a website or like a 1-800 hotline?
It's like a psychic hotline.
MartyMartyMarty.com.
Lancton for HarrisCounty.com. I'm sure that it'll get.
you still there, right?
I do. Well, it's like 1, 2, 3 hours. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're good.
Thank you all for having me.
Oh, thank you, Eddie. All right, for more informative content, keep following us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Audible, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Good night.
Adios.